Wake up, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. Spencer and I are going to cover a little bit about current events, the new Donald Trump's son doing crack while with prostitutes. I'm so sorry. That's not Donald Trump's son. That is Joe Biden's son. That's right. If it was Trump's, oh man, it would be just a mess. We discuss, like always, our politics and then bounce right into sports in the NFL. So without further ado, on to our affiliates. Buzzsprout, the easiest way to begin your podcast. Sign up with Buzzsprout through the link in our show notes and get a $20 Amazon gift card after your second month. Using the equipment that you already have in a quiet space, upload to Buzzsprout and your episodes are available everywhere podcasts are found. Apple, Google, Pandora, Spotify, and more. Instacart, hundreds of grocers now at the ready to hand select items of your choosing. It's super easy. Use the app or head over to instacart.com to check them out. Ready to order? Follow the link in our show notes and let them know we sent you. Essential items, office supplies, groceries, and even contactless delivery. Instacart has you covered. And today, sponsored by Rosie Cooks Gourmet Catering, located in the greater wine country of Northern California. Rosie Cooks was built off the passion for the culinary arts and is shared throughout the staff. From weddings to corporate events, gourmet, packaged, boxed lunches, wine pairings, and private events. The team at RC collectively challenge one another and deliver mouth-watering menus every time. Check them out at www.roseykooks.com on Facebook and Instagram. ROSEYCOOKS. And finally, Newness Productions. For all your film and photography needs. From social
What about
media
the Twinkie?
promos and
Well, you call it butthead. Butthead.
Newness Productions.
You take drugs, Danny?
This is ridiculous. It's crazy. I feel like I'm babysitting, except I'm not getting
I've heard
paid.
police work is dangerous.
It is. That's why I carry a big gun.
Aren't you afraid it might go off accidentally?
I used to have that
What
problem.
did you do about it?
I just think about baseball.
Declare.
Whose children is this?
Zed's.
Who's Zed?
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
I gotta go to college. Danny, this isn't Russia.
For a disaster of biblical
What he
proportion.
means is Old Testament, Mr. Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
Dead rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together.
Now cheers, I can relax.
All right, cheers. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a White Claw. Lemon.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
I know.
Why? Why are you drinking White Claws?
Dude, I had beer and I ran out, and this is the stuff that was kind of just left over. So now I'm having like the fruitiest freaking Sunday ever, and I'm okay with it.
Okay.
But I'm not.
I'm going with Belching Beaver, Deftones, Fantoni Bride.
Phantom. I thought it was Phantom Bride.
That's what I thought too, but it's down and it's not an M. Look.
I think it's supposed to be Phantom, but it's the way that it's warped.
All right, I'll take it.
I've
had it.
yeah.
I've had it before. It's good stuff.
I've had it on tap at this place in downtown Sac called Petra. It's like the best gyro you're gonna find in Sacramento. Is at this little whole kind of restaurant.
Yeah,
it's awesome, dude.
So we just went out, and I think I told you about this. We just went out to Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to go to IKEA to get a couple things.
Right.
And I kid you not, we weren't there for 10 minutes, and I had my mask on. I had one of those neck gaiters, that I wear. I had it on, but it was like, when I'm not around people, I like at least let my nose breathe a little bit. I'm like, God, I can't. So I had it literally tucked under my nostrils. So it was like technically still pushing up against my nostrils, but this old couple's walking around and they look at me and they're like, if you don't wear it right, it doesn't do anything. And he looks at his wife and he goes, some people just don't give a shit. And my wife like got pissed because he said that right in front of our kids. We weren't out for 10 minutes, bro. And it was like, and all I said was, oh, one of those, huh? You know, like, and that's it. I was just gonna keep walking,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't feel like paying for bail money. So, it just, boy, and I don't know how to act. We went to one of our favorite restaurants actually in Sacramento, and just to have lunch, and it was just weird, man. Everything's all
It's a
cubicle.
ghost town over there, dude.
It is. Now, see, I didn't know
Yeah.
if that was just because we were there at a specific hour, or if that's just the way it is now.
Was it a Sunday?
No, it was.
Okay.
It was. I believe it was Wednesday, around 3
Then
o'clock.
it should have been. Oh, then dude, that's like prime
Yeah.
lunch. That's a perfect time to get lunch because you get all the happy hour specials.
We went
At
to.
least that's
we
how
went to
I have used
Obo.
my
Have you ever been to Obo?
Obo. No.
Okay, so we went to Obo. It was us and 2 other tables.
Okay.
That was it. I mean, it was, and that place is usually packed with people.
Right.
Every time we've gone, it's like packed. And yeah, I mean, it was nobody, and there was nobody in the parking lots.
It's probably it's Sacramento. I think they.
You know what I call
scared
Sacramento
the
now?
Shit out of people.
I call Sacramento the Far East Bay.
I mean, yeah. I actually know a dude who moved to Sacramento and commutes from Sacramento to San Francisco.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, it's cheaper. I actually know a guy who lives in Walnut Creek, and he commutes up to Sacramento. His wife commutes out to San Francisco, and it's like the same commute. It's actually
so.
Yeah.
One of my good friends who has a yoga studio in downtown Sac, her husband works in San Francisco. Yeah, and he commutes, and yeah, it's. But I think he works for Apple. I think now he just works from home now.
more power to him.
I mean, so we've got a lot to go over in a short amount of time. Let's start with local.
Listen, I know I said let's get this done by kickoff. It's cool. I actually have a TV up here that's going to show me everything. So it's fine.
Well, let's try to get it in because I don't have a TV up here.
Mm-hmm.
And our pizza pick'ems is right. And I owe you, by the way. You got to let everybody know.
Yeah.
What we owe you. But I'm chasing down Ernie right now. So let's start with local. How's stuff going with Lodi and reopening? Because I heard a rumor that trick-or-treating is not allowed, and the Lodi is starting to not reopen or rethink it or something like that.
Lodi, okay. I don't know where you're hearing that rumor, but what I'm hearing is trick-or-treating is still going on. I think everyone's just I think this is for everyone. Every community is like, will I be looked at funny if I send my kids out? Are there even going to be people handing out candy out of fear?
Well, most everybody's wearing masks.
Most everyone's wearing masks, but there are some that are not. And
on Halloween.
I think, dude, we fucked up the messaging from the start, like with COVID, and it's proven more and more that it's an airborne virus, right? That it doesn't really, it's not transferred from surface to surface necessarily. I'm sure if you breathed on a surface, like, yeah, but it's not the primary form of contact, like passing it on is not from surface to surface. So handing out candy, I don't think is that big of a deal. Yeah, use your hand sanitizer before you hand out candy to the kid down the street. You know, we're making it a problem. We're the ones kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. Like, we don't need the government's permission to celebrate.
So trick-or-treating is going on.
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay. Reopening.
But I know that a lot of them are doing, I think, I know that at least trunk-or-treating is going on, like, because my church is doing it in its parking lot. So if anything, like, at least they're getting some type of experience, like the kids are getting some type of experience with candy.
Right.
Maybe If it's not like going door to door, it's at least in a controlled environment where they can still at least have some fun, dress up and do that, you know, the kids shit. Let them be kids.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But more on local stuff, like we our school board finally kind of said out loud, like, we want to reopen and we want it either to happen in November or in January. So at the earliest, we're going to have all elementary school kids in school by November 9th, and then kind of do a phase-in model. So they're going to start off with continuation high schools and special ed kids, and then move to elementary school, and then move to middle school, and then high school. But the problem is that the school board hasn't like given staff necessarily direction, and have been, every time that they throw out a date, the teachers get all pissed off. Like,
that's what we talked about previously, you know, was we talked about the teachers would be the ones throwing the fits.
I actually had a like not conversation, but Facebook comments. Like, someone that I know personally was commenting on, you know, oh, you know, the district doesn't really have a plan in place. It's just kind of to appease the public to say, yes, we have a plan and we want to get your kids in as soon as possible, November 9th being that possible date. And all the parents and all the public were like, yes, let's do it. But what I'm hearing from teachers is that they don't really have a real plan. It's just kind of this, we're going to put plexiglass on all the desks and call it a day. But you've got teachers who, I swear, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter what procedures you put in place, it's never going to be enough. Because there's always going to be that person that says, oh, I need to be super cautious. We need to be overly cautious.
Yeah, everybody's split down the middle on this.
Yeah.
Like, either you're not worried or you're terrified.
Yeah. And in my county, again, you got diabetes or cardiovascular disease, 8% chance of dying. Everyone else, we like 0.05%. And again, oh, dude, I did. Oh, go for it.
No, less deaths. Still less deaths than 2017, 2018, 2019.
Mm-hmm. That blows my mind, man.
And again, people, we're not talking about COVID deaths. We're talking about total deaths.
Total deaths in the year. Yeah.
Of everyone. We're still under the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Let that sink in for a little bit.
Well, and I think I always have these feelings of government conspiracy, and like always, like there's an underlying motive, right? Now we've got 3,000 less deaths this year than we did in the past 2 years, right? That's 300,000 taxpayers or 300,000 voters. Mm-hmm. I always think of it from a political stance, and I know that's probably a really shitty thing to think of, but you know, politicians think in terms of, you know, tax dollars and votes, and that's it.
Yeah, in terms, yeah. Well, so check this out. I was talking to a few people very close to me, and some people that just politics never surfaced, right, with some of these people that we've been close with for decades. And what happened was, and I didn't even think about this, what happened was the person that we spoke with started expressing her political views a little bit, and she seemed like somebody that might have been a little bit more left and right, kind of look at the middle of the road, you know, real right. Even keel. But she said this is the first time she's done this, that the moment, and she believes that George Floyd, everything that was all awful what happened, but the moment the protests turned into looting, rioting, burning streets, businesses, and nothing was getting done about it, and the Democrats wouldn't denounce it or anything, she said screw it, went to her ballot and went all red. She said she didn't care, she didn't look, she just bubbled in all red, because she said that's it, if that's what you're going to stand for. Because anyways, I didn't think about that, but I think a lot of people might be thinking that way too. Just it doesn't matter because what you're standing for is not saving us as a society. Um, People are waking up. You saw that 85-mile long Trump rally, the car rally that's going through California. See that?
I love it. I love it.
The silent majority.
It really is,
Hopefully.
dude. And it's not even, you know what? They call it the silent majority, but I think that we were much more silent in 2016 than we were in 2020.
Oh, hands down. You're absolutely right.
Because we were all scared, dude. We were already downtrodden, thinking we got no chance. So we're not even gonna like put Trump association like with our name, right? And now it's just like, fuck yeah, like we're much more vocal this time around.
Dude, I was talking to my folks this morning, and I said, for every Biden sign that I drive by, no matter where I'm at, I see 20 Trumps. And I told her, I said, I'm not even exaggerating. That's about the ratio. I'll see a Biden sign every now and then, but in between that, I will see 20 something odd Trump signs. And it's incredible the support that's coming for, I think, just truth. I mean, like, hey, call it like it is. And you know what? He might not be the most eloquent or well-spoken, but you know what he means. If you're smart enough, you know what he means and not how he's trying to put it or how the media is trying to spin it. I have never seen anybody this hated by the media. Incredible.
And and I think you can see it in the town halls, and I think you can see it in the debates, that the media, it doesn't matter which side of it, like even some right news media outlets don't like that Trump calls the media fake news, because it hurts their reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And
of course it does.
He's scorned them because people, dude, I've done interviews with newspapers before, and they have a way of already having a story that they want to put out, and they ask you questions that are already alluding to, you can get an idea of, oh, they want this story to go this way, and they're hoping that you are going to say something just kind of off the record or off of like a little bit at your weakest moment in the interview, and they'll pick that exact quote and put it in because they know, ooh, it stirs up some controversy.
Well, look at how far they took the white supremacy thing. You and I already disproved
we debunked that. We're fine.
Yeah, myth busted. So, but they'll take that and they'll run for months. Look how long they've ran with that. So another thing that I realized, this whole ballot dumping thing that everybody's talking about, because I'm not opposed, obviously, to the far right having a little bit of, something where you're reading going, okay, that's a little bullshitty. So I think both sides have it, but I didn't realize that your ballot, if you register as a Republican, on the outside of your ballot, it says that you're registered as a Republican. Right there. So they don't even have to open it. That's why those are getting dumped. Now, I didn't register as anything because I just didn't want to pick one. But
declined to state, right? Or
something like that.
No party preference.
Yeah. But my wife registered as a Republican, and hers does say it. So those are the ballots that they're finding dumped. That's how they know which ones are registered as Republican. They're just dumping those ones. Which is incredible.
No matter how nonpartisan an organization is supposed to be, when it comes to, counting ballots or just receiving your ballot in the mail, we have individuals who have very strong beliefs in these jobs to then collect your mail or, count your ballots. And there's room for error. There is room for people's political biases to get in the way of making good decisions.
And it is this election where people are acting so fucking crazy and insane to the point where they're going to dump these type of ballots. And if you don't believe that, go try to find videos or articles or anything online about people getting their hands cut up by razor blade Biden signs or electrocutions from Biden signs from trying to rip it out. You won't find it because there's not enough people on the right to rip out those signs or be that aggressive or angry. All you'll find are people trying to rip out Trump signs because they act crazy, or houses being egged or paintballed or just Molotov cocktail because they've got a Trump sign in their window.
I think this goes to, I think this goes to political ideology too. I mean, look at who the looters are and the rioters are. Most of the time they're Antifa, which are a lot of times, I don't want to say one party or the other, but I'm saying that there's a political party that panders, that has a socialist wing to it, that has zero respect for private property. That's part of communism. That's part of socialism, is that your property is not private property. It's that of everyone's. Right. And destruction of property is not that big of a deal to certain people. But I must say, I love those videos of people putting rat traps on the backsides of their political signs and just posting the video of their surveillance cameras.
Yeah, but it's only happening on Trump signs because that's happening because their signs are being ripped out so often. We drove by this guy's place. It says his rancher's place, and he's got 2 Trump flags, but they're way up high. And I noticed throughout time, like it started gaining like barbed wire and stuff because he had people tearing them down and stuff throughout the middle of the night. So it's just, but my point being, it's the left acting this way. It's the left acting like they're gonna hate him so much you can't even have a sign. They won't allow it without destroying your property or dumping your ballots. It's incredible what's happening. And speaking of which, did you hear about the most recent stuff where, Eric Trump, Donald Trump's son, he was using his dad's presidency or his political standing to gain money in payment from China and Russia and doing coke and that's not
Eric Trump.
Oh,
that's not Eric.
That's Hunter Biden. That's right. Oh. I'm sorry. Because if that were Eric Trump, boy, the impeachment process would go a lot smoother, quicker. I mean, if that were any Trump.
After the first debate, the one that was an absolute fiasco.
Yeah.
You had Trump Jr. Up at the stand, and he was talking with the news ladies, and I get a feeling that in about 10 years, we may be seeing Donald Trump Jr. In office. Some capacity.
I saw something that was like, people were passing around. They're like, you want to make a liberal's head explode? Show them this. And it showed like all the Trump family from Ivanka to Donald. And it's like 2024, 2020, like all the years. It's like Trump presidency. Anyways,
we laugh about that, but the Democrats are so scared of that.
So can we discuss a little bit on what the hell's going on here? Because I wanted to sit on this information with Hunter Biden a little bit and let some more come in and see what's going on. So let's name some facts. Let's just go through it. You correct me if you know something that I don't. Biden's computer was turned into a computer repair shop. That was never picked up. So the computer store owner took possession of it and decided to go through it, found an incredible amount of incriminating evidence against the Bidens and the Biden family, and then decided to turn it over to the FBI. And when he did so, he did not tell the FBI that he kept a copy of the hard drive. He waited to hear back from the FBI, which we didn't hear back.
Never
from the
had.
FBI.
Yeah.
Never happened. So, and then we've got incredible stuff going on with James Comey and all that crap. So that's a side story. The FBI is just super corrupt. Now nothing happens of it. This stuff leaks out. The Biden campaign doesn't deny it at all. There's videos of freaking Hunter Biden smoking crack while with hookers. And you're telling me that Twitter and Facebook are taking a moral stance on censoring the article because it's not fact checked enough. Go blow me, Facebook and Twitter. Blow me with that, because you know how many fucking articles I read daily from your stupid feed that makes 0 sense or has the title and it pertains to nothing of the title and is actually 180 degrees the opposite. I mean, come on. Well, I can go on there and read Sasquatch stories all day, but you're going to censor this. This is your moral stance here, not a political stance. Tell me that. Explain this.
How did we censor this very valid, credible news story from the fourth, I think it's the fourth most circulated publication in the United States? Dude, it's how do we censor that before we censor cuties? Like, that's, I don't get it.
What
right?
news station or at all doesn't go, I'm seriously, I want to know the answer to this. What news station manager doesn't look at this and go, iceberg, dead ahead, maybe we should switch a little, I mean, this is a sinking ship. You're all attaching your fucking careers to a sinking Titanic ship. There's facts leaking and you think it's going to stop? It's not going to stop. This is the surface. This stuff, it's just peeling off little by little chunks at a time.
And okay, you know how I told you, like, I don't like mailing in my ballot because there might be something that shows up the week before election day that really changes my mind about a candidate. It's this shit.
Yeah.
It's the corruption that just gets blown up 2 to 3 weeks, because this is when the real dirty politics starts playing.
Yeah.
If it hasn't been for the past 7 months.
Grasping for something. Any last couple votes. And you know what? From what I see, not on mainstream media, from what I see, Joe Biden needs anything he can get right now. Anything. There was even an article that I actually read that said basically, don't let the polls fool you. Biden isn't leading and he's not even close, like they were saying like it's not close. And what you just said is exactly the reason I'm not mailing in my ballot. Not only is this going to be like monumental for me, but I'm taking it down there.
Go to your polling station, drop that shit off, watch the person put it in the box. Like, demand that you watch that person put it in the box so that you know that it's counted, that you know it's secure. Because
mine, I don't think
right now I just don't trust anyone these days.
I just don't think mine would be messed with because it's not. I haven't picked a political party. And
what if it's tampered with?
Yeah.
What if it's?
I get
it.
That's a lot of corruption to worry. This is crazy, man. This election year is absolutely insane. This is not a normal election year. We talked about that. This is. I thought I was gonna watch last election closely. This is gonna be crazy.
And the cool thing, like, not cool thing, like, I'm kind of a political nerd, so maybe I think it's cool. Like, because of this October early voting, you're already starting to see some of the poll numbers, like, and early returns on some of the ballots. From what I understand, like Democrats thought like, oh, cool, this is going to give us such a huge disadvantage such a huge advantage to have October voting, right? To have to be able to see it. And in Michigan right now, Donald Trump is up 41 to 39 in the entire state of Michigan. So that's really bad sign, because a lot of Republicans and a lot of people who are concerned about, their ballot not being counted are going to go to the polls on election day and drop off their ballot. Election day voting is going to favor Republicans. And
yeah, I think so.
So to see already Trump in the lead in some states, I think that's very telling.
I'd say, not to generalize everybody as a group, but I would say for the most part, if you're terrified of COVID, you're most likely a liberal.
Most likely.
I mean, most likely. That's why I said not generalizing, but for the most part, from what I see, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So unless I see something that changes my mind.
I'm trying to assess that statement, right? Like, say that one more time.
Not to generalize everyone, but for the most part, if you're terrified of COVID, aside from any type of like actual ailments, if you're terrified of it just because what you've seen on the media and stuff and everything that you're spewing, you're typically a liberal. They're typically a hardcore Democrat, from what I've seen. Not everybody, but
they take things at face value. That's what I'm realizing through this experience, this election, is that what is being fed by the media to people, there are those that trust the media more than doing their own critical thinking and analyzing and really looking at the statistics and asking the question why. And I would say that they're probably those on the left, because very trusting of their news sources. And because 90% of the news media has a liberal bias. Yeah. I would have to say.
I feel like the term liberal means something totally different now. It's almost changing shape. It really is, because I've heard a lot of Democrats saying we're Republican now, and I was kind of thinking about that. I was thinking, no, you're not Republican. You just you believe in the current Republicans' point of views and on how things should be handled right now, with today, with China, with everything going on, with the Democrats. You're disagreeing with how they're handling their party at the moment. Doesn't mean that the Democrats aren't going to swing back and represent something pretty solid. It just means that right now, Trump has always gone off of the basis that he is going to drain the swamp, get the scum out. And from what we're seeing, Pelosi, Schumer, all these fucks, they are scum, man. They're not doing shit. Pelosi is an awful human being. Her hair blowout bullshit in its entirety alone shows you exactly the type of person that she is. Just watch her on camera. The moment she walks in and she thinks she's off camera, off comes the mask. I mean, and she preaches that she always wears it. And it's total bullshit.
I just have a problem with career politicians. That's what I have a problem with, is that right now there is such a huge, I think there's a gerontocracy. I learned that word. A government that is ruled by old people.
Okay.
A gerontocracy, right?
Gotcha.
Okay. And I get that life experience is very valuable when we're talking about these positions of in government, right? But the problem we have is these people that have been serving in office for 20, 30, 40 years, Joe Biden, I see a problem with that because they remember the world how it used to be. And I'm sure 30, 40 years ago, our country was a lot more racist than it is today. But there's this mindset of remembering how the world used to be and how it really is. And when you live such a privileged 6-figure a year politician, gated community, I get to pick and choose when I want to be in public, one of those types of lifestyles. I show up for the photo op and get out. There's no real world anymore they remember.
Nope, not at all.
And so I have a problem. That's why I believe in term limits, is because, yes, it's very important that we have politicians who know the processes, but run for office when you have those skills already in place, right?
Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. It's you lose sight of real world. You lose sight of what everybody does every day and how much. Yeah, it's
so Democratic leadership, average age 72 years old. Republicans, I think it's 52.
What?
Average age of their members, I think Republicans is 42, Democrats, again, 52 to 54 or something like that. But you've got the average age of our population is somewhere around 36, 37. And there's just these generational gaps. And it's the old guard trying to keep the power that they still have, realizing that there are younger generations that are experiencing a totally different world, that are much more tech savvy, that are it's.
Well, when you don't have term limits, like what you said, and say you're holding a seat right now in the Senate, or you're holding just a position that doesn't have a term limit, and somebody wants your seat, and it doesn't matter how old you are, you take that as a threat. Unless you want to step down, you take that as a threat. That's your position. That's your job. That's your why is this person getting close? If you have a term limit, you as an individual know the end. You know the cutoff date. You know it's coming. You've accepted it already. You don't use your powers or your stance to
keep the other person down.
Yes, or keep them at bay, even if they have good ideas or good connections or good. Yeah, it doesn't work well enough. I agree with you that when you have term limits, it eliminates that.
It's funny, dude, because I experienced that. Like when I ran for local office, I was seen as the threat, and I was framed in that mindset. I was framed in City Hall as, ooh, this guy wants to change some things. Well, yeah, I want to make some positive changes. Oh, but I'm now seen as, stepping on someone's turf.
That's the foundation of politics, is making change. You're so compelled to do something for your community or for your city or for what you believe in that you decide to put yourself in a public office to make a change for the better. Nobody goes into public office wanting to make a change for the worse, but I could definitely see how they fall down that rabbit hole and don't see the evil that they're doing. Like the shit that we're talking about. If this were Eric Trump, Donald Trump, if this were Ivanka's husband, if this were anybody connected to Trump doing what Hunter Biden did, the left and the Democrats would be screaming, "Smoking gun! This is it. This is the smoking gun."
They are silent, dude. They are so fucking silent. They don't want the story to get any bigger than it already is. And after Facebook and Twitter
They don't
censored
wanna
that
read it.
story for one day, they started, oh shit. They had an oh shit moment and started, okay, we can't censor it as much as we were.
Right.
Like, we just got to let it run.
You have some people that are like, oh shit. And then you have the other Democratic devouts that are running with the narrative that this hasn't been completely fact checked. Okay. This is not all true. And
I fucking hate fact checked because, again, you've got fact checkers who have political biases. You can't check the facts
let it
if
all
you
out
have a
there.
bias.
Let it
I
all out
fucking hate it.
Let us decide. You know,
Yes.
let it out there. That's the way you've been doing it before.
And I wonder if this moment of censoring traditional media
This is huge.
by social media is going to create a different dynamic when it comes to, you know, newspapers and other media outlets. If there's going to be some infighting of the new guard, you know, of social media versus
what
the
you're
old
saying-
guard
what you're
of
saying is true.
magazines and print.
Yeah, well, the
And-
old media, we didn't know what was censored before unless we went out and did the checking or it was put in front of our face. We just kind of accepted what was on the TV. And then prior to that, we had social media where it was just free range, just post articles. Like I said, I've read articles that were just total bullshit. I was like, well, that was a waste of my time. That didn't tell me anything. You know, it was just not even about what the title said. So now there is an election year and this comes out to hurt the left. This has now shown people, oh, there's a connection. There's a political connection with Facebook and Twitter, so much that they're going to take a stance and make sure we don't see something. And people, you should be outraged. Everybody should be outraged and pissed the fuck off. And that's what people are doing. They're saying, hey, and they're trying to post the story even further. And you saw that Twitter has they refuse to unrestrict the New York Post's account until they take down any Hunter Biden story.
I fucking hate this shit.
This
Because
is huge. Don't
now right now it's New York Post, right? But
Yeah.
what happens if it's LA Times? What happens if it's San Francisco Chronicle? What happens if it's New York Times, right? These major publications
when it's New York Times, when it's LA Post,
think of how many advertising dollars these people are losing.
You know how many Washington Post articles I've read that were just
Fucking hate
bullshit.
Is macaroni and cheese racist? Sorry.
Just bullshit. No, I'm serious. There's articles of stuff out there that didn't pertain to anything, didn't have any single fact in it, was total. I mean, and this is.
I love the Babylon Bee stories. Those are the funniest headlines to read. Oh God.
This is huge. The type of censorship. This is
right. Well, you also have to think about their origins, right? You got to think about these are big tech companies.
They didn't start like that.
They didn't
That's
start
my
like
point.
that.
That's my point.
But-
Is we're here now. But no, seriously, like what? Have you seen the meme where it's Chris Farley yelling at Attorney General Barr? He's like, "For the love of God, arrest somebody."
It's this. We haven't seen this type of censorship ever. I'm like with this type of political censorship. No one fucking stopped the, grab her by the pussy story by TMZ back in 2016.
Right.
It just.
Yeah, everybody wanted to make a big deal about Donald Trump having consensual sex with a porn star and her being fine with it and everything, but they made it like he raped her or something, and she's like, no, I just wrote a book about it.
She got money. That's all it comes down to, dude.
Come see me at the strip joint. That's what she did. She did like a strip joint tour.
Yes. She actually was in Sacramento.
I didn't know that,
at centerfolds. I don't know. I don't know. I think I picked up, dude. I picked up this like street magazine. It was like.
Is the street magazine called Centerfold's Alerts app on your phone?
It,
it's hidden. Sarah, check Spencer's phone.
No, it's. Don't check my phone. It's fine.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
I'm like, yeah, you can check my phone. I really don't care. You're not gonna find no Centerfolds app, but goodness, man.
Anyways, all right.
I gotta put me on blast like that.
Well, you know, you and Stormy Daniels back in the day. So I have a question. If Joe Biden is found within all these documents to have illegal activities and they begin prosecution, can he legally run for president, or will that nullify the votes?
He hasn't been found. Well, I mean, this is all coming out now.
Right.
So there would have to be some type of trial, right? That, or maybe.
But if there is a trial, can he even run?
Well, it wouldn't be. I mean, we're talking about months into the future. The votes for president would already have been cast and looked into and counted, and everything moving forward would just be basically an investigation into the claims.
But if say, okay, let's put it in like some seriously Neanderthalic terms.
Okay.
If there's an absolute smoking gun evidence on that computer or those documents, say there's a video of Joe Biden literally pulling the trigger and killing somebody. Even though there's that video, they still have to
get a warrant for his arrest.
They have to get a warrant. They have to prosecute. They still have to have trial. But wouldn't that video alone be enough to nullify his votes in some legal process?
No.
Why?
Because he's not a convicted felon. I think it comes down to.
But if he's under arrest, if he's currently arrested and awaiting trial.
It's a very interesting thought, because I don't know. I really don't know. I think it.
I don't know. That's why I'm curious. Like this, I don't think it ever happened where.
I know that if someone dies, it's the vice president,
right,
that takes over. So there's that possibility of Kamala Harris taking over. So I don't know. I really don't know. If the president dies, if the vice president takes over, I know it's somewhere in the Constitution that sets forth those rules. That's something I'd have to look into. And I'm wondering if, would there have to be an investigation? Because would he have immunity?
I don't know.
If he was president from,
well, like we said, we've always said this. If Biden gets in, we're not going to hear shit.
Mm-hmm.
We won't hear shit about anything. We'll all be spoon-fed the information that we want or what they want us to hear. It'll go back to the Obama administration, and it'll go back to, but
I think impeached. He impeached for his actions that he took as vice president that allowed this corruption to go on.
He's just not there
because he used his government position. And you know what? This could just be the iceberg too, because this stuff is on with the Biden family. This stuff happens. Hey, I've got a son who, hey, Mr. of this, I've got a relative who needs a job. Can you hook us up?
Yeah.
It's this quid pro quo. It's the this for that.
Well, we said this. I think our last episode we said Donald Trump's son, when he got into politics, he stopped all international business and focused on politics. And when Biden got into politics, Biden's son started international business.
You know what? Donald Trump has created more jobs in these past 4 years than I think any recent president. The only job that was created from Joe Biden's 47 years in politics has been the one that he created for his son in some foreign government.
Yeah.
You know, that's
if you can make it that successful, why didn't you do that all 47 years? I mean, seriously, boy, the flag that I see the most for Trump is Trump 2020, no more bullshit. And that sums it up. If you don't know how Trump is our president, if you can't figure it out, if it's just mind-boggling to you, no more bullshit sums it up. Because you might not like how he talks, but it's just not bullshit. It's not coached. It's not some speech therapy or figuring out what words to use so you don't ignite anything within the. It is raw and you know what you're getting. It's no more bullshit. And I think that's what won him first go round, and it might win him the second go round.
It's extremely hard to make out an income. It shouldn't even be a race. That's my prediction. Is it shouldn't be this close. You've been president for 4 years. You're probably gonna years.
Do you really think it's this
rarely
close?
Does that ever happen?
Do you really think it's this close, or do you think that's just the way it's being played out?
I think again, loves controversy, loves to. What can get the most clicks? What can get the most reads? Make it this super contentious, tight race. Let's make it like fighter, right? Everyone loves an underdog. Everyone loves a story of. I don't know. I think this is the product of it.
The way I feel like it's setting up is we're gonna see polling day start and pedal to the metal on the red side. They just go.
I think there's a lot of people saw what Trump did over the past 4 years. You know what? It was working. People were working. The economy was back. We got people's livelihoods were better. And then to say it, our globalist policies of, hey, let's live in a world of no borders allow virus to come in and fuck everything up. Trump was trying to be smart and close down the entry points and exit points.
I love that. I love when they
country.
try to use that point against him, when they're like, because at first it was like he's such a racist for closing down the borders, and then all of a sudden it was you should have done it earlier.
Right? Oh, he would have done it earlier, but they were too busy trying to fucking impeach him back in January. Yeah. I'm sorry. His mind was a little bit preoccupied.
Yeah.
So, fuck it, dude.
So, that's why I'm bringing this stuff up. Is like, let's go throughout the history of it, really, okay? Because, again, you want it right now. You wanted him to close the borders down early. Prior to that, when he was doing it, you were calling him racist for doing it at all.
Yeah.
He
wants to protect against the virus. He wants it to protect. No, he's just racist against the Chinese.
I hate that.
That's why he's calling it the China virus.
Well,
it's called the China virus because it came from China.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What
people don't listen.
That's why he's saying it.
They want to hear what they want to hear.
Oh, we want to hear the scientific term because that's scarier.
Right. Or it hurts your feelings. That's the whole thing. And that's the no more bullshit thing. I feel like he gave people who thought politicians were corrupt and we're talking about it's all full of bullshit anyways. He gave those people a voice, and that might have been the majority. We'll find out, because he took on the media. He took on every dirty politician inside that office. I mean, yeah.
I think there's a lot more urgency on the Democrat side this go around, this election, because I think they realize, oh shit, Donald Trump can get shit done.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if he gets more shit done in 4 years?
Yeah.
Because we had decades of, you know, twiddling our thumbs up our asses.
How do we slow him
Congress
down?
that doesn't do anything. So you know what? When Congress doesn't do anything, Donald Trump oftentimes stands up. He fucking was the one that signed the executive order to ensure that, you know, insulin prices for those with diabetes would have, you know, pennies a day for their insulin, which, oh my gosh, this virus that we're dealing with affects those with cardiovascular disease and diabetes the most. And he just decreased of insulin folks. Oh yeah, he just wants more people to save fucking lives, and people don't realize it because the media is demonizing it.
How long have we discussed fuck was I going with that? I have no idea. Go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is that he got shit done with it's cool. Yeah, man, he got shit done for 4 years, and you know what? He delivered on a lot of his promises.
Oh, that's where I was going. How long have we been discussing the second stimulus thing? They're still trying to work out. Yeah. Again, here's a sample of what it's like when politicians try to get shit done, and here's a sample of what a businessman does when he walks in without any political background or pedigree and walks in and goes, oh, I see how you guys get things done around here. Like, shit, you're fired. Go over here. Do this. You know, like, it's, yeah, he does. And he doesn't fuck around because he doesn't have the time to. And he knows he's limited. Yeah. God, these 4 years of him as president feel like they flew by.
Yeah, in hindsight, yeah, maybe. And maybe just COVID has got our fucking brains like not able to realize what day and time it is. And I don't know. Maybe we're just getting older and time is just getting shorter. Thank you for that.
What the hell happened?
Dude, I don't know. It feels like I blinked like August 1st and it's all of a sudden October.
I'm just so eager to get past election day.
Yeah. You and me both, man. This has been just insane. I just want it to be over.
I'm so sick and tired of everybody.
I'm waiting for the calm after the storm.
Amy Conan Barrett is like the next devil or demon. It's
yeah, no joke. Did you see, dude? Dianne Feinstein's in some shit with the Democrats because she's actually likes ACB. She actually likes ACB. And said, you know what? I'm very impressed. She said that on the dais. And so she's in some deep shit with all those liberals that
you can't say that. You can't say that.
You're our team. You're part of us.
That. Imagine it like this. You're on a football team in high school or college, and the other dude who's Larry Fitzgerald goes up and makes a miraculous one-hand grab. And you're like, damn, that was a good catch. And then somebody walks by and smacks you upside your helmet and says, you can't say that. Really? It's like that, huh?
Sorry.
That's bullshit.
Well, I think there's some infighting with the Democratic Party just in general. That they don't know which direction to go. Do we go with the career politicians, or do we go with the Democratic versus the new, and
big shift.
Yep. Let's hope. Shit, man. We've only been a country for 250 years, and people need to realize that in that context that we are still a very young history. And so when people want to say, "Oh, no offense, but we're still a very young country. We're still trying to figure shit out." Yeah.
But the one thing about our country is, if you took most of the left or the hard left or hard right, and you took their little asses and planted them in China, and then had them say this kind of shit on their Facebook feeds and stuff about China or Russia, they disappear.
Yep.
They disappear. No, oh, that is one thing I did leave out of the Hunter Biden story is Hunter Biden started his business ventures with a Chinese, I think, nationalist or entrepreneur or whatever, who didn't quite like the Chinese Communist Party, and nobody has heard from him since. He has been arrested, and nobody knows where he is.
China's shady, dude. They got concentration camps, like literally full of Muslims, and forcing them, basically castrating them. Like they don't want to see.
I've heard about it.
Any more Muslims in their country, dude, and it's fucking sad. And so when we have these discussions about, like, you know, Black Lives Matter and, you know, we're descendants of slavery. Well, guess what? There's real slavery going on in other countries. There are real human rights violations.
Yeah, that's something that Trump's brought to the forefront. Is that China's not this really sweet trade country that we've got that's been, you know, put in your face to believe.
Yeah, I'm sure you love the cheap products. I'm sure you love, you know, hey, made in China, but we gotta.
I know.
Some of the shit's just wrong.
Yeah. And this goes to, we'll mold into sports here. But this goes with like LeBron and all his products being made in China, and he's all super anti-racism, anti-slavery, and be about it. Then make sure that go over to China. If you hear that China has this type of work, this work environment, this slavery going on, if I was LeBron, I would quietly go over there and I'd check it out myself. And then if I find out that shit's true, come back and go, we're done. Because I'm LeBron, you know, like I can do that. We're done. I don't support their products because of these reasons. That's fine if you're going to be about it, but be about it. You better make sure your shit's not being made by slaves and sweatshops. Then,
you know, man. Even if there's something about made in America on a logo that I don't know, there's some type of pride to it. There's some type of that paid someone's mortgage, that paid one of my neighbors. Like there's this sense of, you know, we're one, you know. And even if the shit was made by robots, you know, that some engineer,
but it was here,
is the product. It's still here. We're keeping our dollars here. We're keeping our economy here,
which makes sense.
And self-sufficiency, you know, it's, and maybe it's I'm prideful of being an American, but I like, there's something about made in America. There's something about your neighbor. I feel like I was going somewhere with that, and I love halfway through that.
There's nothing wrong with buying or supporting products that are made out of country if they're making them correctly and safely, with the right moral high ground, I guess. But making it so it's not even feasible to give somebody the fighting or competitive chance of having a business here in your own country is bullshit. I mean, you got to give people a fighting chance to keep your dollars here, like what you're saying. It makes sense. Fiscally, it makes sense, you know, like hey, let's keep it circulating here as much as possible. If we got to go outsource for a few things, not a big deal. But outsourcing for everything, not cool. I mean, that's where you start seeing warehouses just falling apart because they've been abandoned. There's nobody who can afford to even run it here. Yeah. No, you're right. There's something about made in USA.
It also comes down to shareholders and politics. It's not easy as saying, oh, I want a company to move back to America. It's not that fucking simple, because they're beholden to shareholders. They're beholden to the politicians that in the countries that they're now having their headquarters set up in. It sucks. I mean, on that outsourcing talk, man, like, it happens all the time. Like, here in Lodi, we had this promise of this Blue Shield Center that was going to be built out, hey, we're going to build this new facility. It's going to bring in so many jobs for Lodians. And, well, they outsourced all of their customer service to like some outside company. It's basically a shell. I don't know.
This whole your whole kind of region from, I'd say, Sacramento all the way down to like Tracy, Lathrop area is all now what I call the Far East Bay. Because there's so many jobs that are being pushed that the people work out in the Bay Area, but they live out here, and everything.
We are bedroom communities.
Yeah.
For the Bay Area.
Because again, when we talk about it, $2,800 is it's a new low. $2,800 a month for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, like 600 square foot apartment or something like that in the city. And you know what you can get for $2,800 out here? Yeah, you'd save a lot of money.
You can get you can rent a 3-bedroom house with a backyard.
You can rent a 5-bedroom house, especially if you're going to like Lathrop or Manteca or any of those. You can rent like a 5-bedroom house for $2,800 a month. That's stupid big. That's so you've got a lot of Bay Area people moving this way, and it hasn't stopped. It just keeps happening. But
and again, a lot of that comes down to the whole, Microsoft and these big tech companies are saying that, hey, if you want to work from home 100% of the time, we have the technology and the means to do it. So by all means, go.
Post-COVID, bro. Post-COVID, it's like everybody worked from home.
Yep. I'm really excited. I'm stoked to see what happens out of it. For me personally, because I would love to work two days a week from home, and I get it. There are busy days in the office that I definitely need to be there for, but it would just allow for a lot more. I don't know. I think this generation, man. Yeah, we're entitled little fucks sometimes, but it's nice to have a good work-life balance, because we saw what it did to our parents. We saw the divorce. We saw the the working yourselves fucking ragged. And
the mask thing, I wonder how that's gonna last.
The what's gonna last?
Masks. I wonder how long that's gonna last. I wonder how long it's gonna leak into how long before you actually see only a handful of people wearing masks.
I think this is gonna linger for a while.
Happen at least where I live.
I think it'll be a thing that every flu season, all right, everyone, wear a mask. Not just, hey, get your flu shot, but hey, everyone, get your flu shot and wear your mask outside, because it's a really bad flu season this year. And think about it. I mean, we're putting in all of these government issued data points and modules and different databases. You think that's all just going to go away after COVID? No, they got to utilize that stuff. They still had employees that they hired to put these databases in place, and they're going to be utilized for other things. Take the technology and apply it to, let's say swine flu. Let's say, really bad flu season, cold season. Let's say, how do we apply those principles that we learned during COVID to other aspects of our lives? And I think you're going to be seeing it just grow. I think public health is going to be a lot smarter because of this experience. I hope we learn a shit ton more, because I think COVID is a fucking failure. That's just my personal opinion. But I think it took one of these big moments to get our heads on straight, to find out what are our priorities. Some aspects. Obviously, it sucks all around, but I think we're learning a lot. I think we're getting more expertise in certain areas. And I don't know. I think there's a lot to be said in the next 5 to 10 years just because of this one experience.
Yeah. Well, I still think it all comes down to election. Once we get past that election date, man, I think we're going to find out a lot of shit one way or another. I'm excited. So let's roll into some sports, because you got your kickoff right now. And
Does this just happen right now? Yeah.
And I need your Niners to win so I can chase down my pizza.
Did I already lose? It's done deal. There's no way I'm winning this.
What's that?
No way I'm winning this.
No.
This week?
No. I don't think
I sucked, huh?
I'll go back and look. I'm not sure how, but it was Ernie was up by like 8, and I was right behind him with 6, and I think you and Javi had 4. So this is a weird week. I almost changed my pick from the Minnesota game, and then I was like, nah, you know what? ATL's bound to get one way or another, and I almost did though. I sat on that one. That's why it took me so long to give you some picks. I was sitting on picking Carolina, and I was sitting on picking Minnesota, and I stuck with Chicago and Atlanta, and I'm glad I did, actually.
Dude, they're showing Jimmy G's statistics right now, like on because they're starting with the ball. He had 77 yards last week. He had a QB rating of 5.9. It was shit. Which is why I'm not wearing his jersey today.
Well, hey, first of all, can we take a minute and welcome back Alex Smith? That was a pleasant surprise. Like, bravo, sir. Golf clap. Yes, golf clap.
I fucking love that guy.
Good job,
I
Alex.
love 2012. 2012 Alex Smith was my favorite fucking 49er ever. No, I'm not ever, but one of my top 10 favorite 49ers, 2012 Alex Smith.
Good job, buddy.
Guy.
I didn't.
His uncle coached my dad at University of Nevada, Reno.
I didn't realize his injury was so severe that he could have died because of the infections in his leg.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that at all. That was crazy.
Oh, dude, he had complications. It got infected, and he had to go back. And the way his bones were, they were
that's
crazy. Like they were like in 5 different pieces or some shit.
Well,
it was nuts.
We talk about the Chiefs' new running back,
Le'Veon Bell.
Wow.
Chad said that like that move was like Thanos getting the final Infinity Stone.
I saw that and I went, whoa, big move.
I thought it was I think it's smart. I wish my Niners would pull the trigger, but at the same time, we've got Raheem Mostert, Jerick McKinnon, and then we've got a few other kind of untested guys, but we've got our field's fucking set. But dude, that's a huge move. I think Chiefs are going to go all the way again. And
I want to see a Chiefs Green Bay Super Bowl.
Oh, like the first Super Bowl ever, what you're saying.
I want to see a Chiefs Green Bay Super Bowl, man. I want to see Rodgers get his ring. I know his clocks. I don't know why.
Rodgers already got one.
No, I want to see him get one more. And I don't know why. I've never been like a big Rodgers fan, but dude's playing like a stud this year. Not today, but he's so far he's playing like a stud. And I know that they're warming up his backup. It'd be nice to see somebody go out like that.
They lit that fire under him with that pick, man. Getting Jordan Love. I loved that. He needed it. The whole Green Bay, they sucked last year. I thought they were like one of the shittiest teams that made the playoffs. And
they did something right in the offseason.
They're gelling, man.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
I don't know, but again, like I keep saying, the whole league's really starting to even out. You know, you've got a few of your teams that are contenders or top dogs, but not really anyone outside the Chiefs. Everybody's starting to even out. You know, it's not that like Big Ben and his Steelers are that great. It's just that everybody's starting to catch up to him, and they're starting to kind of slow down a little. They did well today. They kept the Browns off, but their
defense was insane. I think they got a pick six on Baker Mayfield, but then Baker Mayfield got injured, right? And then they put in Case Keenum. So I mean,
get to see all of the game.
Yeah, he got injured, his ribs or something. You have no idea how hard it is to like try and contain my excitement because Deebo Samuel just got a touchdown right now.
It's all good.
So yeah. Anyway,
you don't have to contain anything. As long as your Niners are winning, that means I'm closer to a pizza. So, God, man, the rest of the league is, aside from the Bengals are like, I don't know what it is. Maybe they have this weird touch. Like everything they touch is like, because look at like Dallas. Like they sent Andy Dalton over there, and it's like they're right there, they're right there, they're right there, and then they just can't finish.
They play on Monday too. I'm excited to see him play a full game.
Dallas
with the Cowboys. Yeah,
Dalton. I am excited to see Dalton to play with a solid offensive line. That's what I'm excited to see what he can do with a better O-line.
That makes sense.
But he was zipping them in those last few plays after Dak got hurt. That was gnarly, man.
Yeah, they wouldn't have won without Dalton.
No,
I'm just saying they wouldn't have won without him.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, he's starting.
Dude, Jerry Jones is probably like thinking he made the best freaking move getting Dalton.
We'll find out Monday.
That was smart. It was smart. You picked a hometown guy, veteran presence, just knows how to pick it up. And so.
Well, we'll find out tonight, because if you're listening to this, it's tonight. Tonight's game.
Tomorrow
night. Yeah, we'll find out. There's 2 games. So that's still wild to me. I don't know how they're going to work this whole COVID thing. If you have Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl going up against Patrick Mahomes, and Mahomes tests positive for COVID 2 days before Super Bowl, what do you do about that? Because that is not, again, that is wildly unfair to force some teams to play, but you pull another, you force some teams to play without their captain and starting quarterback, but then allow other teams a week off because you got 3 or 4 guys. I don't know how they're going to navigate that. What it is very, very, very likely that key players will test positive for COVID prior to playoff games. If JJ Watt tests positive, if Cam Newton tests positive, if Le'Veon Bell, Tyreek Hill, take your pick.
I don't know. Okay, Le'Veon Bell, for one. I don't know if he's won the starting role with Kansas City. I don't think he does.
I'm just pulling names off of what we've been talking about.
I get it. Big names.
Larry Fitzgerald, if like anybody, if Trubisky, if Tannehill, if any of them, if they're facing a postseason game that's win or go home and they test positive, are you going to force that team to play without them? What do you? They need to settle this. This needs to be settled, and unless it's settled already and we just don't know it,
I think it was settled already. I mean, they had to fucking play a game. They already had one team that had to play without its
Cam
starting
Newton.
Quarterback. Yes,
The Patriots.
They already had to establish that with the Patriots.
Right,
This
but
is
that's
the
a regular
standard.
season game. Postseason, what I'm getting at is I think owners, management, coaches, everybody's it's going to come into perspective once it hits postseason, and you better get ahead of that.
Then what you need to do is you need to plan your bubble model right fucking now. Plan your like NBA style bubble model for these playoff games.
Speaking of which, what did I say? Didn't I say the Heat was going to win one, maybe 2 games?
You did.
Lakers will steamroll the rest.
I think the NBA is
if I can find that clip,
that's just me.
Play it right now. That is, yeah. The NBA can't be rigged.
NBA's rigged.
NBA's rigged. It's not rigged. It's not rigged.
Oh,
there's
the
games
year
that are rigged.
The year that Kobe Bryant dies, the Lakers just so happen to win it. Oh,
okay.
Nobody saw
the Lakers also have Rajon Rondo.
Stacked.
Rajon Rondo, who is a career veteran, also playoff and NBA Finals veteran. You've got Anthony Davis. You got LeBron James. Yeah, they're just fine. That was made specifically to beat the Golden State Warriors. That's true. What's true about it? I mean, it was literally they were made to beat this Golden State Warriors because LeBron couldn't do it without other key guys around him. They were too fast. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, yeah. So there's our NBA news. Lakers win the finals. Yeah, yada yada.
Nobody cares.
Happening. Yeah, Boston Celtics should have been able to. Yeah, anyways,
nobody cares about the NBA.
The finals. Ratings are so low.
They were terrible.
So low. There was
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse beat it, dude.
Yeah, and then you've got the Dodgers cracking 11 runs in the first inning? Something like that? That's stupid. Has there ever been that many runs?
That was the most runs in an inning in MLB history, I think.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
They went through the whole order twice. It blows my mind. And I've got to be really careful because I don't want to jinx it. The day that the first game of the championship series between the Dodgers, like my boss is a huge Dodgers fan, and so I sent him and one of my other coworkers, a huge Dodger fan, a text saying, "Hey, go blue," with the thumbs up because I don't really give a fuck. I'm an A's fan, and so as soon as I did. Fucking home run Braves for like first fucking at bat, and I'm like, I fucked up, and now they're in it. I'm not gonna say go blue or anything. I am purposefully shutting the fuck up about that game because I want positive vibes for my boss.
Well, game 1's going on right now.
Game 7, right?
Or game 7's going on right now. It's the first inning, and Braves are up 1-0.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways,
again, things hit in my mind.
So, there's your MLB news.
We focus so much on football.
There's not much going on. Yeah, we are highly football. Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson's coming soon. That was delayed to give a little bit more effort for marketing, and I think Tyson had quite the stamina issue, but still excited for that.
Didn't the guy he's fighting come out and say, I don't want, I think I made a mistake signing up for this fight?
No, I don't think so. Roy Jones Jr.?
I thought I heard that.
I'll have to go check it out. I don't think so.
Or maybe it was one of his past opponents. I don't know.
Yeah, but we are very, very football heavy, big football fans because it's fun. It needs to be longer. That's why we were so excited about that summer league. And
yeah, the AAF. F. What
Bless
the
you.
F, bro? But dude, The Rock Johnson bought out the XFL.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked to see that. Everything that dude touches is fucking gold.
Well, again, I'm telling you, shit bowl, keep people from tanking, give them the first draft round pick, but make them play the first rounder, the championship player out of the XFL. And if they lose, they got to swap spots, earn your positions. That would be, would be like a kid in a candy store about football if that were true. Because you would get basically 2 Super Bowls, because first of all, you watch the championship game in the XFL, then you watch the championship game in the Super Bowl in the NFL, and then you watch the shit bowl. Because if either of those were just crappy or blowouts, you watch the shit bowl because somebody might be swapping spots. It's just so much energy, so much excitement, so much effort. Everybody would be laying it on the line too. You would be seeing trick plays up the wazoo when it came down to the wire. To get the W.
I'm just trying to think of the timing. Like, how would you have the NFL in a competing league? Or would you have the NFL and the XFL in kind of the off season? So then if you were to do that, you basically be, okay, now you just played an entire XFL season. Now you've got to go play in the NFL.
So the NFL
seems very tiring.
So check this out. So we do it like this. Say who would be last place this year? Probably the Bengals.
Falcons.
Falcons. Okay, so say the Falcons were dead last, 32. And then you have, what was the XFL teams? Or it wasn't like San Diego Fleet, or was that AF or something like that?
That was AF.
Okay. Well, let's just say that.
the Seattle. God, man, they just. I feel like they had a team. It was the Dragons.
Yeah, okay. So say the Seattle Dragons were the championship team out of the XFL after they played their summer league, and they got to be the championship team. Well, summer league's over, you have the NFL play, and then the NFL's off. Or once postseason hits, you basically know who's going to have the worst, season, who's in last place. So then they start training, and then you put it Pro Bowl first, Super Bowl, shit bowl. And then you have the shit bowl after. So you in the background, and you could fill the NFL marketing with commercials and showing what's going on while those two teams are prepping to face each other, and the different, build up strategies for that championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it would be huge. It would blow up. I mean, you would have basically 3 massive championship games every year out of,
that'd be awesome,
essentially a tethered one league across, and you'd have all year round football with maybe a little bit of a break in between. How many Super Bowls or playoff games have you seen that were just like blowouts and was like, that was kind of boring to watch? Now you feel disappointed and let out, or let down. If you had a shit bowl, you'd be like, well,
it's losing with consequences.
Yep, exactly.
It's actual consequences.
This is gladiator status.
It's
you've got something on the line.
It's kind of it's a little bit of college ball to it too, right? Everyone's like laying it on the line because they want that NFL contract.
Exactly.
They want,
yes.
They're not like, you know what? My leg hurts today. I'm going to take a day off. No, it's not like that.
Exactly. Everybody's trying. Everybody's old.
Add the competitive edge.
Yes, and that's my point. It's like, hey, if you're going to come in last in the NFL, prove that you at least deserve to stay here, and give the other team a shot that's trying to become a league a chance to get in. And if they can beat you, then they deserve to be here. You don't. Sorry, tough luck, but that's the way it is. And then go down to your summer league, just like they do with players in the MLB. Go down to your summer league, work out, get better. Play with a bunch of guys that are less better than you, or aren't as good as you. Dominate your league and get your chance to come back, build it back. Then that league gets a new cap space. The one that comes in, they get more funding. You eliminate cherry picking players So you take away the opportunity for teams to never even become an actual team. You know, you eliminate NFL teams from, oh, I really like that player. I'm going to cherry pick him. I'm going to take him for our team. So the fan base actually has a chance to establish.
I think you should take every team that is worst in each division and have them play the top 8 teams in the XFL and duke it out for spots,
like a gauntlet
in the division. Yes, for like sorry, Los Angeles Rams, you guys had a record of 2-14. We're gonna have you go up against the Seattle Dragons for that NFC West.
I'm telling you,
that
it's
last
brilliant.
spot in the NFC West.
Marketing wise, it's brilliant. Team
See,
effort wise, it's brilliant. You give people something to play for. You know, I mean, it's something to watch. And could you imagine? Just seriously picture it. Picture you're watching the first shit bowl, and the Seattle Dragons are dominating over the Detroit Lions, who have been in the NFL since what, 1940 something or something like that, or
Yeah, but
anyways,
they used to be. Yeah, I get it.
yeah. And you're like, they're just dominating. You're like, we're gonna watch history. You're gonna watch a new team enter the NFL and an old team get demoted.
Yeah,
that would be incredible.
That hasn't happened. Like, I watched this video of the history. There were teams that just left back, and then like teams that took teams and then changed their logo, changed their name, did this, did that. And there were a lot of changes earlier on in the league's history. And now you just have kind of the elite 32. There's no changes. No, we need, no offense, we need some change to that. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun, but hey, it's a pipe dream. Anyways, all right, buddy. Well, unless you've got something else, I think it's time to watch some Sunday night football. Get ready for Monday night football because weeks are flying by. Week 6. We've got 10 weeks left. That's it.
Niners better win today, or else they're with, and they better just fucking throw it.
That's it.
Away.
That's all we've got left.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Well, it takes away from politics. Let's just, shall we?
It's my biggest escape, I think, from politics is watching football. But anyways, all right, man. Well,
drink some more water and like
some more White Claws.
Make you really mad at me. Yeah.
You gonna drink some more water? I'm
gonna drink some more. It tastes like a dissolved Skittle,
like a Zima.
But you like it Skittle and type and just like swirl it around. That's what it tastes like.
Fair enough. All right, man. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Follow us, like, and subscribe. And until next time, cheers, everyone. And stay sane out there.
I start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy. He can't feel the neck.
You got knocked the